Hello, folks. I came to a realization during my last reading of the Delphi trial transcript. Which you can find. I will post the link in the description in the comment. Oh, it will be here. It will be here. Came to the realization that with the June 30th, 2024 motion to dismiss and everything, I came to a realization while reading Detective Purdue, his part of the testimony that day, that holy fuck, Brad Holder might just have been a snitch, an informant, and that is why he was declared no longer a suspect. That's why they never checked his alibi close. That's why his phone dump disappeared. Now, I'm going to play to you my reading of Detective Purdue's testimony. And you tell me, folks, you tell me if I'm absolutely way out there. Or if you think, Jesus Christ, Nick is onto something. Okay? So I will play that for you, that in 3, 2, 1. Direct examination of Detective Roland Purdue. Question by Mr. Baldwin. Thank you for this surprise appearance. State your name for the record. Roland Richard Purdue. What do you do for a living? I'm a detective with the Indiana State Police. Did you work on the Delphi murder case? Yes, I did. Did you investigate at some point in time Brad Holder? He had been cleared, so I had looked at his Facebook, that type of thing, with the understanding that he'd been cleared already. Yeah, that wasn't the question. But you really, really had to put that in there. Knowing now that he lied in his first interview. Legally redone is in Utah. Oh, you attended the university in Logan. All right. Well, I will make sure that I let people know when I am in Logan. And if there are any restaurant or anything in Logan, and let's have a meetup when I'm there. Continuing, yes, I did. Did you investigate? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you were familiar with the social media, is that correct? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to hand you what's been previously marked Defendant's Exhibit L. I want you to look at the middle, and tell me if that is recognizable to you. A, I had never seen this photo before, I think the deposition. I can't remember if you showed me this photo at the deposition back last August, but I've never seen this photo before. Conveniently. Okay, now, Mr. Bolling, can I have the court you have, L? Okay, let me give that back, because I know when I came up, I promised I'd give it back. If I could have the one with the... I'm going to hand you Exhibit J. It's already admitted into evidence. Can you identify that for you? Yes, the left photo is a picture of Libby's deceased body. The right photo is pictures of bodies and stick formations that I believe was on Brad Holder's Facebook page. And you verified that in a previous deposition. Yes, that you saw that. What's on the right side photo is of Exhibit J. That was in Brad Holder's Facebook page. But your testimony today, and that's okay, that the one with the hanging man upside down, you don't remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing that one. Fair enough. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Mr. Luttrell. Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Purdue. Mr. Luttrell, if I may see Exhibit J. In reference to Exhibit J, you've indicated you're familiar with that photo. Yes. It's a side-by-side photo. One side is from the crime scene in this case. Yes. Where is the other photo from? I believe Facebook. And how do you know that? I believe I saw it on Facebook. Okay, and were you asked about it in your deposition? Yes, that was, I think it was referenced in August of, yes, 2023. That is correct. And you recognized that photograph as it's indicated. You thought it was dated some years before the crimes. Yes, I believe it was dated 2012. That's when it was posted on Facebook. Doesn't that make it more suspicious that Brad Holder drew an almost exact copy of how she was positioned? Isn't that weird? Now, had it been August, well, maybe he saw crime scene photo. But no, this was 5 years before. We know he drew how she was positioned. But not according to the state. That's when it was posted on Facebook. That's correct. Mr. Luttrell, thank you. No further question. Ms. Baldwin, just to supplement the record, because I think that's a limited photo, I'm going to ask one more question. Thank you. What is the proper thing to call you, detective? Detective is fine. Detective, thank you. This is Exhibit M. Can you tell me what that is? I believe that's the complete photo that was in the right half, what you showed me a little bit ago, the prior. And that's the one you saw on Brad Holder's Facebook post. Yes, okay. Move to admit. I'm sorry I didn't show that to them. Defendant's Exhibit M. This is the full photo of what was on Brad Holder's Facebook page. No objection? All right, without objection, M is admitted. I have no other questions. Mr. Luttrell, just one moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may. I have some outside scope of direct questions for this witness that will allow him to be excused once we're finished with him at this time. Any objection, Mr. Baldwin? Nothing. Okay, perfect. Go ahead. No, you're not done yet. Witness, okay. No, he's going to ask you some question outside the direct. That way, when he's done, then you're done, and then you can go for the day. Recross examination. Detective Purdue, approximately what time frame did you work and assist on this investigation? Approximately March of 2017 to probably March of 2018. And prior to that, what was your assignment with the Indiana State Police? I was a detective with the State Police. I had been assigned to a FBI task force as a task force officer. During the process of becoming a task force officer, there's a background investigation, and there was a hold-up on my investigation. So they sent me to Delphi to help with the investigation while all of that was going on, while my investigation was being done. In the process of assisting during that approximately 1 year, did you interview Brad Holder? Yes. Where did that interview take place? Logansport Police Department. And did you ask him, and did you question him about the murders at Delphi? No. Why the fuck not? Would you tell the court what you did question him about and what did Brad Holder told you? I was told that Brad Holder would be a good source of information concerning Odinism, and so myself and Detective Lori Lemler asked Brad Holder to come to Logansport, and we talked to him about the Odinism. Was there anything shared by Brad Holder that shed light on who killed the victims in this murder? No. Did you write up a report? Not to my knowledge. And did you record that interview? I didn't have a recorder. If it was done by Lori Lemler, and I called Lori, and she didn't even remember the interview. This, I'm just putting it out there. This was Brad Holder an active snitch on the Vinlanders? And that is why he was cleared? Just putting it out there. Was Brad Holder an active snitch on the Vinlanders? On domestic terrorism? And as Rambo says, no video from Logansport either. Funny, everywhere they go, the cameras don't work. Yeah, very strange indeed. Everything seems to disappear. Was her understanding that it was not recorded as well? Yes. Have you ever come across a report or reference to a recording documenting this conversation you had with Brad Holder in Logansport? No. Do you have any reason to believe there's a recording out there that, no, interview that did not cover the Delphi murders? No. Were you deposed? Well, you already testified you were deposed in August of 2023. And did you mention this interview of Brad Holder? Yes. And did you tell defense that you did not know if it was recorded, that you did not record it yourself, and had no record of it being recorded? That's correct. Did you tell the defense that you did not write up a report? Yes. This is so stupid. Why wouldn't you? Why? Well, if Brad Holder was an informant, then of course then it would make sense that there were no reports or no recordings. I sense a separate video about Brad Holder possibly being a snitch in the works. Mr. Luttrell, I have no further questions of Detective Purdue. Mr. Baldwin, sorry, Judge, go ahead. Redirect. Question by Mr. Baldwin. Question. Brad Holder didn't say, I killed those girls to you. No. Okay. You should have written a report, correct? Not necessarily. I mean, is that a question? It is, yes. Okay. In cases where we talk to somebody concerning subject matter, a report wouldn't necessarily be made. I mean, you could have written down because later on, there might be a trial or a hearing like this. I talked to Brad Holder, and here's what he told me about Odinism. And then the defense could then compare what he says with the crime scene or with anything else, right? I mean, we could have used the words out of Brad Holder's mouth to you for that interview. Okay, I didn't do a report. You should have recorded it too, right? Not necessarily on a case like that where we're just looking for information. Becky Paddy is the one that led you to Brad Holder, is that correct? That's the first one. That's who first told me that Brad Holder was an Odinist, yeah? That's correct. And what interested you about it was that the unusual stick configurations found at the scene and Norse paganism as a possible explanation for how those girls were murdered, right? That's why you went over to talk to Brad. That's correct. So you were trying to get information from Brad around the crime scene? Is this really Odinism? Is that it? You have the Purdue professor. Why would you talk to Brad about those sticks? A civilian, previously involved in a murder investigation. Why the fuck would you ask him about stick positioning when you have the Purdue professor? Defies logic said that makes so much sense if he's a snitch. Yeah, I agree. And you, that's correct. And you, or not, that's not why I talked to Brad, because I was told he has been cleared just for information from Brad concerning Odinism. Question, my gosh, did you go talk to Patrick Westfall about Odinism? No. Did you go talk to anybody else about Odinism? Yes. Who else? Tony Portwood. And he works for the state police. Yes. All right. The Beverly Shores police chief, and I don't recall her name. Okay. There was an Indianapolis officer who was also an Odinist. And we have spoken with him. So this is about a month or so after the girls died that you think you went and talked to. We don't have a report. I don't know the date. So let's try to narrow that down. It would have been August at some point, sometime during August. Laurie Lemler was only in Delphi, I believe, 1 month, and I believe that month was August in 2017. Thank you. Sorry? No, that's good. And I thought maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you said Laurie Lemler said she couldn't remember if it was recorded, right? Okay. She couldn't remember the interview at all. So if Brad Holder testified in his deposition that he thought it was recorded, he'd probably mistaken would be your thought. Probably mistaken. Okay. And if Brad Holder said that you asked him a lot of questions about Patrick Westfall, Would he be mistaken about that as well? I don't recall asking him about Patrick Westphal. Okay. Did you know Patrick Westphal's name? Yes. Okay. And you knew he was a Norse paganist, correct? Yes. I believe he mentioned Brad or Patrick Westphal, that he was the leader of the Odinist group that he was a part of, and that they'd been in the military together. And by August, you would have seen Brad Holder's Facebook post with the rune that he had. I'd call it a rune, but the configuration he drew on his wrist, right? Yes. I'm going to hand you what's marked as Exhibit K. Tell me when have you seen what's on the right-hand side there before? Yes. Okay. And what that is, which way are we? I'm sorry, yeah. Okay. The marking on not that, okay, not AW's body, but the other. Okay. Are you familiar with that? Yes. That is the marking on Brad Holder's hand that he posted a couple of months after the deaths. Correct. I'm not sure when it was posted, but yeah, I believe this was a tattoo type marking on his hand. And that was very similar to the way the sticks were formed on AW's body. Would you agree? Yes. So, thank you. And in spite of the fact that at some point in time after the girls were murdered, there's a stick configuration on Abby that looks very similar to the way that Brad Holder drew on his wrist. You weren't over there to ask about that because he had been cleared. Correct. That's correct. And you didn't clear him. That's correct. Do you think he should not have been cleared? I trust the people I work for, and if they say there were so many leads to follow up, so if somebody told me someone had been cleared, I would move on and trust their judgment. Bullshit. Just because somebody is cleared, if he ever was, if you discover something suspicious, you fucking ask about it. Because people can be uncleared. Do you know how we know that? Because Rick was cleared, and then he became uncleared. Uncleared by the mother of a person who claimed she was honor-bound to Ron Logan. Just because somebody is currently cleared in a police investigation does not mean that new information can show up that is suspicious enough to warrant more investigation. To not do that is bad police work. Question. And you also know about what I call the mimicked crime scene photo that you say was 2012 that was on Brad Holder's Facebook page. Yes, right. And that was similar. I mean, first of all, that's real weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird? Yes. And especially knowing that Libby's body is, posed similarly to the way that lady was posed on his Facebook page, right? Yes. And still, in spite of that, you did not go to Brad. You just said, he's been cleared. That's all I need to know. But I do want to find out about Odinism, right? Yes. No other questions. Anything else, Mr. Luttrell? Nothing further? All right. Thank you, Detective. You may step down. May Detective Purdue be released? Yes. You're free to go, Detective. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Folks, this is insanity. This is absolutely insanity. They had everything they needed to re-investigate Brad Holder. Because the only alibi he has is his time card from work. Nobody went to check if he was actually there, spoke to the people who were there at work. Did you see Brad that day? Nobody. And the other piece of alibi he has, he pinged himself at a gym on Facebook. Do you know how you ping yourself at a place on Facebook back in 2017? You typed in the name of the place, went there, and you pinged yourself. You don't need to actively be there. As I see it, Brad Holder has no alibi. Because it was never investigated properly. And if Brad Holder is a snitch on Odinists, it makes sense. We need him. We need him. Let's clear him. Because we are investigating a domestic terrorism group called the Vinlanders. And he's helping out with that.